Hi, this is Trudy from Journal Journeys 51, and I'm here to talk a little bit about travel journals. I am getting ready to go on a trip to England with my sister. Very excited about it. And I am going to make a travel journal. And I thought, well, let me see, what have I done in the past? What's worked? What hasn't? What would be the best for me to use this time? So I'm going to just show you quickly some of the different types I've used. This one is the very first junk journal I ever made. It is made with a cereal box just folded over, and I was excited to put it together and use it, and you know what? It worked really well. I took some washi tape with me, some glue stick with me, and as I went along, I wrote about each day. I used bits of ephemera, you know, all kinds of things, you'll see. And I would put it in with washi tape or glue stick. I included envelopes, which was very helpful and useful. It was just basically plain paper, and I sort of decorated it with, you know, stamps, a few stamps, some stencils, but I just, you know, mainly used it to write, and then as I said, I would add ephemera as I went along. It's pretty basic, not too exciting, but I found what worked for me in this was to have lots of writing space, line lightweight pages such as copy paper, which is mostly what I used, with washi tape on the ends, and having lots of envelopes or tuck spots. Yeah, that's, and I you know, I just cut things out. Again, here I had stamped, but I just wrote over that. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun keeping it. It was fun looking back at it. I've looked back at it several times. So that was my first one. I went on a driving trip with my daughter. We went through a number of states, and my sister had sent me this really cool travel journal kit, really. It included this, I guess it's sort of like canvas. It's pretty heavy, and it's already ring bound. It came with envelopes for adding things to. And it came with a lot of lined lightweight paper and some heavier, not real heavy, but heavier, I would call it light cardstock for adding, you know, things to. So this worked for a road trip, and what I liked about it was the combination of writing space and the fact that I could add photos later. I've only, it was since this that I got my selfie printer, which allows me to make reduced size pictures. And so whenever I travel, I don't have a camera with me, although I do cut apart brochures. I pick up brochures everywhere, and I cut those apart and put them in as we're traveling. But, you know, I don't add the pictures until I get back. So, yeah, so this is this one, and I guess the upside of this style was that I could do just that. I could write as day by day as we're going along, and then when I come back, I could add photos and put it all together in one thing. This is our whole trip, and it's kind of nice to have that. But for some reason, I don't want to travel with a ring bound thing. It's kind of heavy. Of course, it's full now, but anyway, so that's, I would say this would be good for a road trip if traveling light isn't one of your main concerns. But when you're trying to conserve space and don't want anything too heavy, you know, and the fact that you, well, anyway, I'll move right along. So this is my next one. I made this. This is one of several travel journals that I made. I sold the other ones. And I like it. It's sewn in. In all the journals I've made these little document holders, I guess you might say. And I got you make them out of file folders. And I got the tutorial on YouTube, but it's been so long and I cannot remember where I got that. I'm sure you can find it. So I started out, well, I put the whole thing together, sewed in everything, and I started out in my usual way, writing and adding bits of ephemera, and I don't draw too much, but I did that day. But I see as I went along that I've added photos, and frankly, I cannot remember whether I just stopped writing or if I left pages blank to add the pictures later, or if I left spots within a page blank to add pictures later. I am still writing because I'm talking about doing something that day, so I know I was writing on that day. Again, I put washi tape on the ends of the pages so that they would hold up better. And as I went along, I did gather ephemera and tuck it in using washi tape that I had with me and glue stick. But, you know, I put in a map, but then clearly I've added photos, and frankly, like I said, I can't remember. I do buy postcards a lot because, for one thing, you can get views on a postcard that you could never get on your own. So I do like to do that, and that's certainly something I can add as I go. But again, all these pictures are from when I stayed with a friend, and I didn't print them out until I got back. So I thought, okay, what do I want to do this time? I like Sewn-in journals that are sewn in, but you know, there's some advantages to other kinds too. So one more thing. Sometimes I won't do a whole separate journal, but I'll just include something within my regular writing journal. So my husband and I took a little getaway. I think this was just about when COVID was starting to be an issue, but we got a little weekend getaway, and I just included a little insert on that. And it's just cardstock on the outside, used my usual ephemera stuff, and then I did a page on the inside made out of a paper bag that I sewed down the middle. Again, I got postcards while I was there, wrote a little bit about what we were doing, and added the postcards and my own photos and put together the whole sort of story about this little getaway when I got back. So that's, you know, another way to do it. But when it comes to sort of big trips, like vacation, big deal kind of trips, I came up with something yesterday. I'm really kind of excited about it. And this is what I have done and what I'm going to do, or going to use this trip. It is ring bound, sort of, except I used zip ties instead of metal rings. And you could probably also use, what do you call it, twine, maybe, to do this sort of thing. But this, I think, has the advantages of that first one I mentioned, in that you can write as you go along, add your ephemera as you want to. Again, I added one of these document holders, I guess. You know, you could put your insurance or ticket or information about the trains or anything you want in there. And just to make sure, I put the closure as Velcro so it doesn't fly open or anything. Anyway, I used a variety of papers, lots of writing room, and some firmer cardstock from a travel themed pad. Did some kind of, you know, fun things. There's an envelope to tuck things in. Here's something, that envelope there, and a folded over piece of paper there. More to write on, and it's a tuck spot behind there. Envelopes. I do find envelopes very useful for tucking in receipts and other things. So yeah, there's something to write on, and another envelope. Now I barely started decorating this. I did add the washi on the ends of the pages. I added a cut down page protector for just adding extra things in there. More envelopes, lots of writing space. So anyway, here's my idea. I'm going to take this with me. Oh, and by the way, I got this little thing at the Dollar Tree yesterday. I thought it was a headband for, you know, adult's hair, but I think it turns out to be for a child's hair. But anyway, it works perfectly. So this is pretty small, pretty compact. I will decorate it more. I'll take my glue stick, washi tape, journaling cards, you know, pens with me, and I'll do what I usually do. But when I get back, I can print out all the pictures I've taken, or as many as I want to print out, put them on cardstock, write more about them if I want to, and then cut these things off, put in the pictures where they go in the story, and put the whole thing together so that the whole story is there, similar to this one. And I like doing that. Oh, I'm going to back up a little bit. That very first journal that I showed you, this one, was fun to use, but, you know, no pictures. So when I got back, I had like 500 pictures that I had to choose from. This is a very large 3-ring binder, and I put together an album, and that is where all the pictures went. So, you know, that's great. It's nice. I do enjoy sitting down and looking at it, and I must say that my friends and family, I think, appreciate looking at these kind of albums more than my junk journals. But I kind of like, you know, I'm real pleased with this, and I stop and I look at it every now and then. It's nicely on my shelf. But at the same time, I really like having the whole story in one place. And I like looking through this, reading what I wrote about, and then, you know, having the pictures right there as an illustration. So that is what I'm going for with this. So I can put them all, I can add pictures to them later and intersperse the whole thing and have it all in one place. And I used, you may have noticed the rings seem kind of funny. I've got a, well, I use this. I used a 3-hole punch, standard 3-hole punch, but I only used the bottom 2 rings because this is the size of journal I like to carry with me. I didn't want a full sheet. So I only used those 2. So when I come back, I could actually add full sheets of photos if I want, intersperse them with my writing and my ephemera, and put them in a 3-ring binder if I want to. Or I could just take these off, add the photo pages that I want, then add large rings, and have the whole story of our trip in one journal. So that's what I wanted to share today. I'm really happy with this. I'm happy the way it came out, and I love that I can just cut these things off. In fact, I might even try cutting them off now and adding twine instead, if I think it'll hold up well. But anyway, that's what I wanted to share about travel journals. I hope you found something useful in this. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.